Okay, so welcome back everybody. You're watching the Premier League Season 3. Now this is Dignitas versus Virtus.Pro. Now Dignitas, I know, are probably quite tired. They have just returned home from a 40-hour flight. That is definitely not the nicest things to have to play after. However, we'll see what they've got up their sleeve here. Now they're banning Dirge as well as Magnetor. Now Magnus and Dirge have become extremely popular as bans, of course. We've seen exactly how devastating Magnus can be. And also the fact it comes down to simply that he's also quite versatile. I mean, the quickest way for a hero to make one of the first two bans is to be versatile. And it just comes down to the fact that not only is he strong like a key hero, but at the same time they can play him anywhere, so it's easy to pick him up quickly and then adapt a lineup around him. So maybe you might want to put him mid. You'll pick him up thinking, okay, let's put Magnus mid, and then the enemy will pick something that will really crush him in mid, and you go, okay, well let's rotate him to either pull the jungle, or he could go to and do an offlane. We could put him as a suicide solo. So I think this is why we're seeing him banned quite frequently. Now also Bounty Hunter being banned out by Virtus.Pro along with the Bat Rider, and these new bans are actually allowing Darkseid. I've been seeing quite a lot of Darkseid. Remember back to the International 2, Darkseid was the most banned hero, I believe, short of Lycan. So these new bans are allowing heroes like Darkseid to slip through, and we're seeing more of him. But I'm kind of expecting to see O2000. Oh, she might not even see E2000 playing the Darkseid. You might even see somebody else do it. O2000 often takes their suicide lanes, but we'll see where they decide to stick him. Now the double pick here for Virtus.Pro. What are they going to go with now? Templar Assassin is still available if they want to go for that. I'm just wondering if we'll get to see NS on the Disruptor again, although it'll likely be a later pick for the Disruptor. That said, when a lot of teams play against Virtus.Pro, they often ban out the Disruptor in the second phase, just because it's often when a team is looking for one of their hard supports, and of course NS plays a very, very mean Disruptor, and he's all around just big pain in the ass. Anyway. Looks like they are going to take their time with this. Now, I think they might want it. We might even see an early Enigma or Tide pick here, just to keep it away from the Darkseid. Of course, those AoE wombo combos are always a very brutal strategy that can completely crush them. And there we go. There's the early Enigma pick, and they also take the Shadow Beat. An interesting choice. Now, this is actually a hero that we've been seeing being played several times by Fog. And when Fog plays it, he usually takes it to the safe lane and just farms it there while a couple of heroes just pull. And generally speaking, they try and take it a defensive tri-lane against a weak off lane. And they will try and keep those supports in the jungle or roaming and gaining as much as possible to try and effectively give Shadow Fiend that solo lane that he craves. However, putting him in the side lane where he's a little bit safer than the mid. Of course, the mid lane tends to get hit by smoke ganks and a lot of attention from the enemy team early on in the game. But here's a double pick here from Dignitas. Now, will they secure some of their early AoE? I'm just wondering if they might even grab up something like a Disruptor quickly, or it could even see something like a Time gets picked up. Unless, of course, we might even see, of course, Sven has become an incredibly popular pick. Some might say in need of a potential nerf in the future. His armor and movement speed or Warcry are very, very crazy good. And of course Sven goes nice with Dark. So one of the issues Sven has is closing the gap with targets. And that no, okay, it's gonna be a Tiny Wisp combo. So I mean Sven could have fit into that, but however it's gonna be Tiny Wisp, and I doubt we'll see a Sven now. So we'll see what sort of, well, basically it's all about the cleave, isn't it? With Tiny, you get his nice big baseball bat and start cleaving away with it. Wisp, of course, lots and lots of ganks. Now this is going to be rough for Shadow Fiend. Once Wisp hits level 6, Shadow Fiend is going to have a very rough time farming, just because SF, he's a squishy hero. He's going to be really, really worried about getting jumped by Tiny and just combo. Like, Tiny won't even need to land a proper combination on him. Between Wisp and Tiny coming out of nowhere on top of him, they could kill him quite easily. But Virtus.Pro decided to pick up a Queen of Pain. I'm just wondering if we'll see KSI take that down the mid. Now that could be stacking up. I'm just wondering, we might even see a Tiny Wisp double mid, but we could even see them in the side lane. We'll see what Dignitas decide to do. I get the feeling it's going to be Darkseid Suicide Solo. Tiny Wisp probably in the safe lane. Unless they're planning for an offensive tri-lane. I mean, a couple of stuns against a Shadow Fiend tri-lane would really mess him up. Like I said, he's very squishy, very vulnerable, especially if Enigma. If Virtus.Pro want to put Enigma in the jungle, I don't think you will see Shadow Fiend get any farm at all, just because he won't be able to get anywhere near Tiny Wisp. It comes down to the fact that Tiny can set up a stun by actually Wisp tethers up with Tiny, and then Tiny throws Wisp at Shadow Fiend. He gets the tether stun on him pretty much straight away, plus a really nasty nuke from the toss at the same time. My mic in game is off. Shouldn't be. Try again.
Dire team ban.
It should not be off. I'm pretty sure I've turned it on. Yeah, I've pressed it on twice now, so it should definitely be on. Just let me check on this.
Radiant
Okay, no,
team
they can hear me.
ban.
Okay, that's fine. Somebody's just probably selecting the wrong caster, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so continuing on the ban, so Linnea actually slipping through to the second banning phase along with Jakiro. Wow, these are really starting to get mixed up. Jakiro, of course, was insta-ban material for quite some time. However, of course, with these newer heroes, these newer favorites, he's starting to slip down there. Now, Dignitas are probably looking for another support, or at least a jungler or something like that. Now, Vengeful Spirit also being banned out here. Of course, Swap is a really nice disruption, especially if you're trying to break that tether and just pick off somebody quite easily. But I'm definitely somewhat worried about this potential trialing that Virtus.Pro were hoping to run there with the Shadowfiend, just because we've got potentially a very aggressive trialing can get thrown up against, of course, Tiny Wisp. But I mean, you could throw in something like a Keeper of the Light, which we might even see Virtus.Pro ban out there. But we also see the Invoker, who was not that popular for a while, but it seems to be making a bit of a resurgence since DreamHack, being banned out by Virtus.Pro as well. And one final ban here for Dignitas. We'll see what they've got up there, well, what they're worried about here. Now, I'm looking at Virtus.Pro's lineup. They need some supports. I think this is why we're seeing Dignitas ban a couple of supports. Rubik is also another potential ban there as well, because he's quite popular as a hard spot. Although at the same time, Disruptor is another one. I mean, Disruptor is the best way to counter a Wisp, just because you send his buddy away. Wisp and Tiny teleport in, and the Disruptor sends him home. So I would not be surprised if we see Dignitas ban the Disruptor, because it fits. They need support, and his players a killer Disruptor, and it would be a great counter pick against a Wisp teleport. But Dignitas appearing to take their time with this one. Maybe they've got something else that they're more worried about. We'll see what they remove here. And it will be the Disruptor. There we go. I thought so. And they also final ban of a Lone Druid. I really don't see that one coming into this lineup all that well. But you know what? They decided to get rid of it. I'm really iffy about the Lone Druid. I have not really seen a team run a super powerful Lone Druid that I like that much outside the Chinese teams. And even then, we saw a lot of Chinese teams falter with the Lone Druid pick in the late stages of the TI2, and I think they've really sort of gone off that one as well. But we'll see what they have up in mind here. Now, Dignitas, now they are looking for another support, maybe a jungler. Of course, they could throw in something like a Chen. Of course, the heals down the tether are fantastic. We might even see a Chen come in here. It is a possibility, unless they want to take it. If they want to go offensive, I think we'll see something like Keeper of the Light or another Stunner. If they want to go defensive, we might see a jungler like Chen get picked up. It comes down to what sort of style Dignitas have decided to roll with here. In fact, they're probably still deciding. But they have 10 seconds left, so they need to decide fairly quickly. And it will be a Rubik their next pick. Now, of course, Enigma with the Black Hole. As long as Rubik stands back, they're pretty much guaranteed a counter Black Hole if Rubik doesn't get caught up inside the AoE cluster. The cluster bomb that will happen once Enigma drops his Black Hole. Of course, you've got Queen of Pain and Shadowfiend there. Lots and lots of big AoE. So it's going to come down to, can Virtus.Pro land these big, nasty black holes? At the same time, I'm kind of expecting Wisp and Tiny are going to make it their #1 priority to ruin Enigma and Shadowfiend's life. And just make them hate life, get all sorts of sour, and just really get frustrated and throw the keyboards across the room. Because those are two heroes, kind of squishy, and linchpin heroes they'll want to pick off again and again and again and again. Especially if they get Enigma just before fights, that would be absolutely beautiful for them. Now, pick #4 here for Virtus.Pro. They're desperately in need of some supports. I'm expecting at least one hard support. Maybe we'll see Enigma soft support, but they are looking for a hard support, and a lot of them are banned out right now. Rubik picked up, Takuro gone, Vengeful Spirit, who is... I think Vengeful Spirit's really sort of been getting more popularized by... No Tidehunter more than anything else, but Shadow Demon making the pool once again. In fact, this is... Speaking of No Tidehunter, this is a hero that I've seen Envy playing a fair amount of, actually. I think it was Envy playing a lot of Shadow Demon. And again, disruption. They could use that very effectively to disrupt, well, basically the same way as Disruptor would disrupt Tiny and Wisp go, and Tiny and Wisp show up, and you can just immediately throw down disruption and get one of them out of the way there. Or go for the save. They try and target fire someone and just take them off the board for a couple of seconds so they can't get picked off. Now the final pick for Dignitas. Now they're probably looking for a solo mid, I get the feeling here. I'm kind of expecting Darkseer. It really comes down to how Dignitas run this, and because they have a Rubik, a Wisp, and a Tiny, I'm expecting them to take an offensive try and mess up Shadow Fiend. I'm expecting to see Darkseer in the safe lane, and there we go, a Storm Spirit. Probably solo mid, however they could try and get tricky if they want. I mean, if they want to get tricky, they could go Darkseer Suicide solo, Tiny Wisp solo, take a dual mid, and then Rubik and Storm Spirit duel in the safe lane. They could try something like that if they want to put Fogged on that Storm Spirit, or we'll see what they've got in mind. We will see what they've got in mind in a minute. But the final pick here for Virtus.Pro, what has NS got up his sleeve? With the Queen of Power. I think we're looking for... We've got a primary farmer Shadow Fiend. They've got Enigma. Now, it depends whether or not Enigma's going to jungle, or if he's going to suicide. And that's pretty much, they're going to have to pick, if we jungles, obviously they want to suicide. So, oh, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, then Lion is being picked up again. And NS will be playing him, so that'll be some kind of support line. Santa picking up the Enigma, so we'll see where they go with that then. Let me just switch over from the scenes there. Alright then, so we have Kassa on the Shadow Demon, Queen of Pain. Alright then. We'll see, got to see where they stick this. Now, Airman's been picking up the Shadow Fiend. I'm kind of expecting him to take the safe lane then. KSI and NS then probably going to be supporting him. I think we might actually see Lion just pulling a lot and just getting his levels there from the pulls and just trying to actually get his farm happening. I'm kind of expecting to see Santa in the suicide lane, but we'll see what they've got in mind here. But let's call out the players and what they're playing so far. Alright, so on the Radiant side we have Fogged playing the Rubik. Hang on a minute. Okay, that's slightly different. Oh, okay, no, it's going to be... No, it'll be a solo mid Storm Spirit, never mind. Snaking's playing the Storm Spirit. Anyway, we've got Fog there on the Rubik, Tides of Time playing the Wisp, Snaking on the Storm Spirit, A2000 on the Tiny, and You're So Shiny, apparently, who is not tagged up correctly. Never mind. Playing the Darkseer there. And for Virtus.Pro, we have NS playing the Lion, Airman playing the Shadow Fiend, KSI on the Shadow Demon. A lot of shadows here. Enigma playing the Queen... Oh, Enigma being played by Santa, and Queen of Pain being played by Chaos... Oh, Kurz. We'll just call him Kurz. Alright, so where is Fog? No, okay, it looks like Fog will be taking his support role. So I'm wondering how they were going to run him there. And A2000 will be taking the carry role here. It's Tiny. It looks like we will be going defensive instead. Darkseer will indeed be taking the suicide lane. And it's going to be a snaking mid with the Storm Spirit. We got Enigma will be jungling, so it looks like we could have Queen of... Hang on a minute. Queen of Pain... Unless... Okay, no, it looks like they're possibly abandoning... It looks like they're abandoning this lane. They're saying this bottom lane is going to be too hot. We can't afford to try and farm it. There's no way it's going to happen. And it looks like they're just going to send Santa to the jungle, because those are very much jungle items there. And I can't really blame them. This is not really a lane that Enigma can do much about, because even though he try and hang back, you just have Tiny just throwing Wisp, or even he could even just throw Rubik at them just to try and set things up. And basically just throw one of his buddies at them to set up the fight. Now, meanwhile in mid, Queen of Pain, she's going to be able to do a fair amount of Shadow Strike harassing, but it's going to come down to how much of this overcharge harass that Storm Spirit can drop down, although obviously hasn't got it just yet. He's got his static remnant at the moment. We see it. Darkseer being forced back a little bit. Now this is... Now you might be saying, why are we seeing this Tron? I don't think this is technically a Tron. They're going to try and spend as little time with Lion and lane. They really don't want him to go anywhere near the lane, because the thing is, Lion was never really a popular tri-lane hero or tri-lane support, because he's kind of sucked at it. His level 1 stuns and disables are very crappy. He's mana hungry, and he needs levels badly. Even though you could sort of play him as, like, he doesn't need items, doesn't really need items that badly, you can play him as a support in that respect. At the same time, he needs levels. That's where he really struggles. There's something we'd see, this is going way back, we'd see when the Western teams wouldn't use Lion, the Chinese teams would actually be playing him as a solo mid. That said, in this current meta, I don't really know if he's that effective as a solo mid right now. So we'll see whether they can make a resurgence in that response. But it looks like Snaking dealing out a lot of damage there with that overload. But they'll want to be doing this as much as possible, just leveling up Lion like this, making sure he gets his levels so he can level up those stuns. Once he gets level 5, level 6, then he really has his license to kill. But before that, he is really lackluster. And if you get caught out, like if you got ganked a couple of times in a tri-lane, and just fell behind, you saw him like stuck at level 2, level 1, like we see these poor supports sometimes wind up like that, then he's really, really crappy and kind of lackluster as a hero all around. Really has to get those levels up. See Snaky now charging in there, forcing Queen of Pain back, who dodges back with a blink, making sure she avoids that rather nasty nuke there. See, no, he's not going to run him down there, although Snaky now taking a fair bit of damage, being chased back there. Queen of Pain going to cop a bit of damage from the tower in return. Say this much though, at the very least they do have a roof, because this is a very scary, this is a completely nuke oriented lineup. I'm a little bit worried. I think I partially feel that they picked up the line, mostly because they felt we need some instantaneous, like they needed some really hard disables, and of course Lion can throw that in there with a hex and then the stun. Because if you don't have the power stuns to shut down a Storm Spirit, he is so brutal in the late game. He is so maneuverable, so basically hard to shut down. It's ridiculous. So I almost feel that's why they specifically went up the line, because he has 2 good disables. In fact, looks like he's going to be going for a gank here now as well. Fog now just doing a bit of just assisting here in the jungle. Just helping Darkseid clean up the stacks. We hear a bit of a gank here in the mid lane. Looks like Storm Spirit is in trouble there. There's the stun. Here comes the kills. He drags in Queen of Pain with Electric Vortex, but it's not going to be enough. And this is what I mean. I get the feeling that's why they picked up lines, just for the stun and the disable. Of course, level 1 it's kind of crappy, but once it gets a couple of levels, those disables start to becoming really, really good. At the same time, also the mana drain as well, actually. Come to think of the mana drain, if they can lock him down and just drain away that mana, that'll really help out in terms of controlling him in these fights, because of course Storm Spirit without mana is a very useless sight to behold. There we go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Nope. Oh, damn it. Okay then, let's go again. Apparently there was too much awesome to behold. Alright, just going to remember to voice record again once I get back in the game. Alright, reconnect. Hopefully we didn't miss a kill in mid. We'll see in a second. I agree, Xanax. They should have picked the Shadow Shaman. That's a Bruno level strat there. Pick all the heroes with Shadow in their name. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't want to miss this. Looks like Queen of Pain did indeed get wiped out in the end there, but let me just quickly... Okay, there we go. Mic should be working once again there. No idea why that crashed. PC's just deciding to troll me tonight. Lion has picked up his boots down. You see, level 3, a little bit behind. Hopefully he can catch up. Now Nick take of the mid there. Looks like Virtus.Pro have picked up another kill in our absence, and I was not present for. See, A2000, what is he saving up for there? Whoa, okay. A2000 going straight for a hand of Midas. Greedy, greedy, greedy. Definitely doable. See Snaky about to get picked up again. Still trying to hit level 6. This Malefico stunning him down. Needs to try and get it clear here. They go for the deny, but Fogged missing that one, unfortunately. Possibly about to get taken out himself. Queen of Pain now giving chase. Chops down a tree and eats his way through there. Now comes Support trying to save a Queen of Pain. She's got a blink up. Jumps over. One more hit. Can she find it? Gets the auto attack off. And there's another kill. Darkseid though. Gonna try. No, he's not going to manage it. She's got enough for blinks. She can get away. A bottle charge as well. In fact, she might even go for a 4. She has her ult up. Although not, no, wait a minute, she doesn't really have the mana to gun for it, although she might actually, she's charging up now, gonna move in, can they make this happen? Although Santa may need to change his mind. See Cal Cruz just jump in there, Queen of Pain, body block. You see Darkseid here was thinking about going after death, she doesn't quite have the mana, if she pops that, maybe, no, decides to blink out. Play it safe there. Enigma almost killing himself. Unfortunately, Snaking very vulnerable up to this level 6 period. Really needs to hit this level 6 here. Once he gets this, he'll be much harder to shut down. Queen of Pain finding herself a regeneration. And it looks like things are starting to get a bit hairy here for Dignitas. They're not really doing too well at the moment. Now, I should mention these teams, they haven't really had any recent games. The last game that's been tracked on Ghostly Gamers was 4 months ago. That's quite some while back. Dignitas were the winners back then, but I think it's not really a fair comparison, especially since I'm pretty sure that was the old Virtus.Pro actually. In fact, that was a completely different team, so never mind. So these two teams never really having played together. We see line opening up with another smoke there. In fact, continuing to pull and just leech up all this experience. I think Dark's here, yeah, he's just completely given up on that lane just because he's getting nothing out of it. Now Queen of Pain drops her ult there, does a lot of damage. Fog, though, they're trying to get it in off. He's backing up here. Queen of Pain, though, getting hit by the electric vortex back. Fog decides he's going to be okay for the moment, although I don't think so. Actually, he is going to get taken out. And now, unfortunately, Storm Spirit as well. The next one to fall, maybe Black Hole Wisp tethers into it. Oh, he's feeling bad about this. Tides of time now trying to get back. Queen of Pain's on the warpath, screams again. And now she's going to duck out as well. Darksy, though, going to try and run it down. She's got to blink up in 5 seconds. 3 shards on the magic wand. She should be okay. And Santa's still in the middle. And Dignitas are just on tilt right now, reeling after every single gank here. It was a nice attempt from Wisp to save the Storm Spirit. He just was not expecting that black hole. Storm Spirit, though, really struggling here. I'm going to bring up the gold per minute, actually. As we see Shadow Fiend, though,
Dire's bottom tower
farming quite well. In fact, they have not managed to put any pressure, and this is going to sting. Once Storm Spirit actually gets to the stage where he can set up these ganks, Shadow Fiend is going to be quite gankable, quite vulnerable. But at the same time, Storm Spirit's so far behind. He hasn't even got boots right now. That's how badly he's been getting crushed in this mid lane. I don't think he's going to be able to gank this Shadow Fiend at any time soon at all.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Enigma now deciding to come to the bottom lane. Looks like he's going for an early mech there. Has picked up the chainmail. Now Queen of Pain coming back to mid. Trying to try and dominate Storm Spirit a little bit. I think this is why we have not been seeing a lot of Storm Spirit. He is just too vulnerable to getting ganked. And we saw one other Storm Spirit, if I remember correctly, recently in the Premier League. And it just got completely shredded, if I remember, by Templar Assassin. Nothing he could do about it. Unfortunately for Snaking, I feel that Virtus.Pro kind of have his cards here, and they know what basically how to deal with him. And they're shutting him down quite nicely. Now Shadow Fiend deciding to go for an early BKB. He has picked up the Ogre Club. KSI on the other hand is doing a bit of warding there. Just checking Santa's still working towards the mech. Now we can go in here for Wisp. Wisp has picked up his boots, and of course Tiny. That said though, of course, if anything's going to turn things around for Dignitas, you see, oh boy, poor old Snaking. 180 gold per minute. If anything's going to turn the game around for Dignitas right now, it's going to be Tiny hitting his stride in the mid. You don't see an error symbol. What on earth is going on here? That's the error symbol that the source engine pops up, the default error symbol when something isn't working properly. So apparently that's what his static remnants will look like for this game. I don't know what the hell is going on tonight with my PC. It's just not making any sense at all. Now it looks like they're going to try and set up a potential gank here. Unfortunately, KSI might walk into this face first, realizes, holy crap, I'm in some trouble. Decides to actually fight them. May regret this though, because here comes Tiny and Wisp, and they bring down the Shadow Demon. Can they get the Shadow Fiend as well? They make it a run for a great drop there with a stun for the telekinesis. A couple more hits here. They get their Hex down the H2000. Here comes Shadow Fiend. Requiem drops it in their face. Queen of Pain with the counterattack there with a Sonic Wave. A Finger of Death to H2000. Should be okay. I know if the slows come. Throws down a stun. Throws down the toss as well. Gets screamed down though. A nice counter attack there from Tiny. A good attempt but got brought low. And that backfires horribly. They get a Shadow Fiend. Or rather a Shadow Demon. Although Shadow Fiend actually, nope, doesn't quite die there. Close call. Had that Centaur decided to chase him again. But they trade Shadow Demon for 4. Everybody except Storm Spirit dying in that fight. Definitely one of the worst trades they could have made. Unfortunately, their counterattack was good, but Virtus.Pro's counter was better. It's like a game of judo. Is he standing now? Going to try and get the push happening here. No, it looks like he might a bit. Now I'm going to bring up the gold chart here. It is now 4k plus in favour of the Dire. And around about 5,000 experience lead. I think that's the thing that's gonna hurt here, the experience lead. But you got a hero like Storm Spirit so far behind, and you got heroes that need the experience. I mean, we've got a level 7 line here, and a level 7 line, and they are indeed showing up as error symbols, reversed error symbols indeed. Okay, I have no idea why that's happening. All right. Now Storm Spirit running away, realizing he's in a little bit of trouble here, backing up.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So they're pinging
Radiant
towards, I think.
structures are
Or
fortified.
possibly the 12-minute rune at the same time. As the fog has picked up Bracer. What's that coming up to mid? It will be his bottle. Fortunately, Snaking, we're having to resort to bottle crawling still. Bloodskill, I'm pretty sure that that apology, and I'm using finger quotes there, was more of a joke. I don't think they really cared at all.
Radiant's top tower.
I mean, why should you? Why should you care? You see, Queen of Pain though it looks like she might be going towards her own BKB here, which I cannot blame her. You've got heroes like Tiny on the other team. Really do want a BKB at some point.
Dire's bottom tower is
Looks like she's starting to go for a BKB early on. Tiny now still saving cash out here. He has picked up his power treads. Has also got his Midas up and running as well. Queen of Pain with a DD though, just going to outlast hit Storm Spirit here quite easily.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under
Rubik
attack.
has picked up nothing else either. And looks at Storm Spirit's just going for his own power treads right now. We'll pick up, have a look at the items here. Now Santa has picked up
Radiant's top
his
tower
mech.
has
I'm
fallen.
just looking through, don't look at anybody else that's got anything amazing. A couple of power treads here and there, nothing else particularly awesome. Shadow Demon though, of course, just buying general support items, consumables. Now Lion, as well as the rest of the crew, head towards mid. I think they might just go for a bit of a mid push here. Looks like they're getting ready to try and force the issue. And they'll just, pop out a few conversions in a few seconds and just keep putting pressure on this mid tower. And the question is whether or not Tiny's going to show up to the show, just because that last one went so disastrously. Might just focus on his farm errands. He's going to try and pick up, there we go. There's the point booster for the Argon of Scepter. Meanwhile, push on mid by the Dire side.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Now Lion is going to be coming into the jungle by himself. Fairly ballsy, of course. He walks straight headfirst into a Tiny, get killed very quickly. Decided to just go straight in there. Changes his mind though fairly quickly. I think they've realised there's nobody down that bottom lane. Now Tiny and Wisp in the middle. Looks like they're just going to try and counter push here or not. They've changed their mind as well. They're backing up. I think they saw everybody charging up from the bottom room there and decided, you know what, we don't want to fight these guys. Let's just get the hell out of here. And it looks like they're just going to try and push top. Storm Spirit up here, going to cop a bit of damage there from the tower. And yes, indeed, it looks like they just want to push the top lane instead. Meanwhile though, Virtus.Pro going to go for a Roshan run here. And do we have, yeah, the presence of a Dreadlord there. He will have that negative armor. How much? He's at -3 there. And of course, they've got the conversions here to tank if they need as well. Looks like it's going to share it around a little bit though, and it's going to cop a few bashes to the face. Roshan can't figure out who he wants to fight. There we go, okay, he's going to fight the conversion. Now, meanwhile, up the top lane, they're still pushing the Radiant team. It's going to try and trade Roshan there for a tower kill. Now, the port up top to defend the second tier tower. Shadow Fiend coming. We've also got the Shadow Demon as well.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
See, oh no, also NS also going to teleport out there, though he actually went straight back to base. See, Tiny actually just going to eat up those conversions there, as it looks like he will also be out of mana. Do they have any arcane boots? There we go, Rubik got some arcane boots up there. We'll charge them up. In line now. Looks like he's got his finger up. He's looking for a kill. They could go looking for another kill here. I'm still very worried about this potential in the lane game, just because with the Wisp, well, the issue is the Wisp has had pretty much no farm. This is not a mini Wisp. He's had so little farms. It's going to be very easy for him to get picked off. Like, they might not even have to target farm. He's just going to get clipped by AoE. Queen of Pain, of course. Plenty of AoE that can pick him up. But at the same time, Lion might just decide he doesn't like the Wisp and just kill him. Just finger him. Straight away, if they so decide, they could just kill the combo straight there and then with a finger, pretty much. Wisp very vulnerable, I feel. I see the steal there. What did Rubik get? Looks like he picked up the Scream. Another push on the tier 2 mid from the Dire team. Should be able to bring this down. Doesn't look like much of the defense is being mustered. Looks like the counter push here from the Radiants, and what they've got in mind, they are just going to try and take down the tier 2 bottom tower. I don't know if they'll get it though, because these guys can just teleport back in a moment and even getting the kill there. And there we go, the teleporter D coming back. They're doing their best here, though. Here comes another teleport. That's a Shadow Fiend coming in. And no disables here. They should be able to escape. The other port also counts. Their line also show up just a little bit late to the party. Meanwhile, in mid though, they might be able to get a kill. They teleport back here. They bring down the Enigma. Finally getting a third kill on the board. as Queen of Pain finds the 16-minute rune there. See, Shadow Fiend though has finished his BKB, also working towards a Mantis style by the looks of things as well.
Radiant's
The
bottom
Lion
tower
though, what's he
has
picked
been
up? Nothing
denied.
new either. It's been mostly
Dire's
doing
middle tower is under
consumables.
attack.
Queen of Pain, what has she got there? She has picked up nothing much. Looks like she's just saving. In fact, she might not even go for the full BKB just yet. She might change her mind and go for something crazy like an Argonims. But she's sitting on cash right now regardless. 2,600 gold. See what she goes for in the future. Now, do we have Darkseer? No, didn't really get much of a farm the Darkseer, sadly. That is something that can turn around a game around about the 20-minute mark. If Darkseer comes, pops out with a full-on pipe as well as a mech, it can really completely polarize a game. But he just did not get that insane amount of farm. So always got something the teams have to watch out for. They can't leave a Darkseer alone, free farming as much as he likes. Tiny, though, does have the Argonim Scepter. I just don't know if it's going to be enough at this stage. Of course, kind of needing levels, needs to get that final level there. As it looks like the push on the tier 2 is coming. In the bottom lane, the Die are going to force the issue right now. As Enigma appears to be also building a BKB as well. It's coming. Now it looks like they might just, again, the Radiant might just try and stall this game out and counter push the top lane. I don't think they'll try and defense. No, they won't even bother. Tiny and Wisp, though, just going to go top as well. Help push this, of course. Take Tiny's baseball bat to the tower and wreck things up like a Vandal. There we go. In fact, Darkseer going to pop a lot of damage there. He's going to aggro up, and what he's doing there, in fact, hey, you see he got rid of the aggro by not even leaving the tower range. Basically what they do is they just attack clip a creep that can't be denied, and the tower decides to pick on somebody else. But here we go. Virtus.Pro really going to force this issue, looking for an 18-minute Rax. Bottom tower is under pressure, and now the Radiant team, they need to respond, or actually no, they're going for a bit of a base race. They've changed their mind. They've said, Tiny, stay there, and just chop away at that tower. I mean, it's working. They're doing a lot of damage to that tower. Pretty much on par, one at the same time, 1 versus 5 pushing in here. And it's working. The question is whether or not his team will get destroyed. In fact, every time they back off like this, he's going to back off as well, go to the jungle, because he can't tell where they are. He's going to wait until he can see where they are. Is he sure yet? He might just risk it. He might just, his game. Okay, it looks like his game is going to gun for it here. Although it looks like they might get some pickoffs if Rubik isn't careful. Rubik, though, possibly into danger, picks up with the telekinesis, dumps him closer, may regret this in a second. Queen of Pain now, there's the electric vortex, Lion trying to get dragged up there. Well, they pick him off, though, with a finger of death eventually. And now the Paw coming back to the top tower as Tiny being forced to back off. The Lion, though, with no mana, no spells. Wouldn't have been that effective. In fact, Tiny probably could have killed him. It was sufficient, however, to scare off Tiny. Tiny decided to back down. You see Enigma still working on that BKB, getting closer, still needs the Mithril Hammer. BKB though for Shadow Fiend has been done for a while. This is why they really don't want to, I get this feeling why they really don't want to commit to a fight, because they know they've got these BKBs, these big nasty BKBs, and they just want to get stuck in that AoE. So much AoE. Queen of Pain also, she did go with the BKB route. And it's just gonna, I mean, right now, their best chance would be to pick somebody off and then push probably. Pick a couple of heroes off, and they could get these teleport ganks to work. Unfortunately, they just haven't been able to get that offensive. Like, they tried one good teleport gank, really, and it backfired horribly in that early phase. Bit of stun down on Lion. Just the conversions are going to get picked up there, and they're deciding not to gun for it. In fact, Courier possibly in danger. It should be okay there. Actually, maybe not. Shadow Fiend's coming as well. They're just going to leave it there. Nobody can sit. Tiny as well as Wisp just going to run for their lives. Looks like Tiny and Wisp. Tiny just going to try and stall this game. Definitely not. I always see heroes like Nature's Prophet. I mean, that's kind of their MO. To stall a game list. Not really Tiny's thing. Interesting to see him play so crazy like that. So crazy aggressive like that. Up there just trying to solo push a lane there by himself. So here's Storm Spirit. Nope. Queen of Pain though scouting this out. They might just gun for these heroes in a sec. We've got a few of them in the mid that could try and reinforce this gank. Queen of Pain though just deciding to teleport out. In fact, going to go after Darkseer there. It was pushing the tier 2. Did considerable amount of damage to it, but in the end, not getting the kill. flying. He's going to try and take him out there. There's their Hex. We'll see a stun coming in a second, although Fog picking him up with telekinesis. Going to stun the Enigma. Convert. Oh, Malphite stun, so probably going to lose Rubik here. Not much you can do, but a good save. Tiny definitely a more important investment there for the team, but there's the pick off. And now will Virtus.Pro make their move on the racks again, or will they just decide to back up here? And in fact, I think they're a little bit worried, because basically what's going to happen, if Virtus.Pro, if they try and charge in here, Tiny and Wisp are immediately going to teleport up here and just go for these racks, probably. They might not be, I'm not sure if they can manage yet. I don't know if they have the DPS to get through the tower hill, we'll see, but I mean, you can see that Tiny. He's got a pretty good attack speed there with that overcharge, just leveling up now, level 2. In fact, I think they're just going to get up here, keep this lane, they're going to try and keep this lane pushed, just to keep the threat up. We see Enigma, 400 gold away from his own BKB. They're so hard to stop in these fights in a moment. Of course, at the same time, as long as Rubik hangs back, he can, of course, get that seal and go for the counter-attack with the Black Hole. Assuming that there's anybody left to counter-attack with, because, of course, after the Black Hole, I mean, if Requiem goes off, Queen of Pain drops her nukes, that's going to make a pretty big mess out of whatever they had there. Now, do we have TPs here? Yes, we have some. We have a couple of TPs. We also have a gem up, and right now the Radiant side losing map control. Looks like Fog's about to die a horrible, painful death again. Or not. Or not, because they're going after Tiny and Wisp, and this could be devastating. They pick off Tiny. Tiny has a buyback, but Wisp does not. They pick off Wisp. Well, it's pretty much as good as pick up Tiny. However, they find Snaking instead, and Tiny and Wisp will escape thanks to Snaking, giving away his life there. Not really intentional, but fortunate nonetheless. You see the crit continuing to harass this tower some more. In fact, Tiny and Wisp could just teleport up here and kill this right now if they wanted to. They could just get rid of that if they wanted to. I don't think it has BD protection anymore. It's too low. And Darkseer, though, I think they're managing to stall this game possibly long enough to get things wrong. Darkseer has picked up a mech. If they can get a pipe, they really desperately need a pipe against this lineup. Although that said, Lion finds himself a blink. Now that's some pretty good initiation, and we're going to see heroes like Storm Spirit very vulnerable to this. Lion just jumping on them, hexing them, nuking them down, and just basically disabling him, setting him up for the kill. And definitely very low for Lion safety, especially now it's going to make it harder for Tiny to solo push like this now as well, once they figure out they have this dagger on the line. And there we go, Darkseer getting close to a pipe as well. Needs a head, just about 1,600 gold away. Actually more close to 1,300 gold. And now it looks like they're looking for another Roshan. This will be Roshan number 2. Shadow Fiend has picked up a Manta Style. Probably see him get a Daedalus next. Just for those big, big crits. Versions here to tank for, or somebody to tank there for Airman. Airman just going to take a lot of damage there. Enigma's going to be doing the job. And Tiny, though, going to go up mid. Has got 3.2k in the bank. I get the feeling we'll see the crits come out next. I might probably see Tiny possibly go for that big ass Daedalus next. Get those big crits in. And there we go. I think they know that they're there. And there we go. They are visible to these wards. They know where Tiny and Wisp are. This could be devastating. Shadow Fiend, though, going to lead the way at the moment. In fact, most of the Radiant heroes up here, they might be able to save something if something goes wrong. Although now Tiny down the low ground, they can see him. Here comes Lion. Blinks in, gets a Hex down. They're trying to pick up the Wisp. They get the Finger of Death there on the Wisp. And now the ult there from Shadow Demon on Tiny. Tiny trying to escape. Looks like he might actually get away just by virtue of being naturally speedy. So they lose the Wisp, but at the same time, Tiny at the very least gets away with his money. On the other hand, though, this is going to prevent them from just charging in here and backdooring this tower. I mean, if they wanted to, they could gun for this. Just backdoor, just teleport in, try and backdoor this tower. About 12 seconds of overcharge. Maybe they could get the racks too. Maybe. If Tiny picks up a good damage item next, we'll see. See Lion, though, working on his own, possibly his own BKB there as well, as we see it disconnect there from Snaking. Looks like everybody's having a few crashes tonight. Now, Queen of Pain, where's she up to there? Looks like she's working on a Hex in a second. I assume that's where that Ultimate Orb's going. Just pick up a Hex to help control Tiny in these fights. Of course, Tiny actually Probably could do with his own BKB in a while as well. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit too easy to shut him down. But a BKB would definitely help him out, getting Hex shut down in these fights by Lion. Lion, of course, as you can see, that blink's so effective. Just gets him in, instantly disables a priority target, gets him stunned, brings him down, gets him set up there for the fight. Tiny, though, looking for his... Once he hits level 3 and his ult, we might see him go for these big BDs, but... We'll see. We'll see in a moment. Like, I get the feeling once he hits level 16, they might even go for it right now. Just get rid of this tower, get some money. It only costs them a teleport there from the Wisp. As soon as they're sure that the coast is clear anyway, once they have sight of these heroes. Darkseid, though, still trying to pick up. The Airman though. Airman though is sitting on 1200 gold. Let's bring the net value here. See, Tiny is in fact ahead of Airman there in terms of net value. Same time though, of course, Tiny farming at a ferocious rate there. In fact, what's his last hits on? There we go. Tiny sitting on 207 there last hits. In terms of last hits, just cleaving his way through the creep waves. And of course, as we see, Airman's actually been a bit more mobile, been charging around the map, actually trying to set up this push, help with these pushes, help with these ganks. So see, this is Merv asking, how does he have this farm? It's pretty much because he has just been farming really hard. And of course, Tiny farms, especially when you have Wisp like this, they just charge around the map, picking up farm like this, picking up ancient stacks with a cleave. It's very, very effective. In fact, I don't think they'll try and go for the full racks here. Probably just going to get the threat on, but the tier 2 tower now under threat there from the Dire team. They will clean that up, and then Tiny and Wisp coming back to the mid. And also threaten the tier 2 and mid as well. And looks like this is going to turn into a bit of a game of musical lanes here as everybody just runs around in different lanes, circles, just trying to outpush the other team, backdoor the other team. In fact, Tony and Wisp going to do this all day, just try and snipe towers like this. And once they get this back, I'm pretty sure we'll see them gun for this tower up here. It is another very easy target for them. How did Dignitas get screwed so hard? It comes down to the fact that Storm Spirit, when given no support, like no protection in the mid, is a very vulnerable target. And it's something that Virtus.Pro did very well early on. They ganked him. They repeatedly sent down ganks. And Storm Spirit, once he falls behind, he's very lackluster. Needs that early farm, needs those early items. Otherwise, he really, really starts to stink. But they sent out, they did two or three, no, it was close to 3 or 4 early ganks there, where Shadow Demon and Lion, they just showed up with a smoke gank and helped shut him down. There weren't really any effective counter ganks from Dignitas' side. That's really what messed them up. And we see Tiny and Wisp going to charge in this lane. Now, I think they feel comfortable, though they might back off. See, they've lost line of sight now, these guys. They're not sure whether they're teleporting back or not, and decide to back up, because they know they can't afford to be forced into a buyback situation. Or a situation where they don't have buybacks even. That would also be devastating. Now, Tiny, let's see, spend his cash there on the Black King bar. Might see him go for the crits next. I think he needs that burst DPS to really help drill down the Shadow Fiend. Okay, popping her DD there. Now, still getting well on her way there to Ords. She's getting about 1500 gold away from her Hex. And with the double blink disables there from Queen of Pain as well as the Lion double hexes, they are really going to have to watch out for that on Tiny. Tiny, of course, does have his BKB now, but at the same time, they can get jump to the gun on him. He'll be in a bit of trouble there. It's the Queen of Pain just going to harass a bit. Well, she's going to DD and a haste. How much luckier can you get there? It looks like Surge's going to try and get him clear. There's a bit of a steal. What did he get? He got the blink. Storm Spirit, though, going for an early BKB, and like while this will leave him very shy manner, at the same time, so it looks like we've got a bit of a gank here on Queen of Pain. Pops the BKB, now it's going to be Tiny versus Queen of Pain. They haven't got a stun, though. Unfortunately, Fog messed out. Actually, they did. They had something that could have disrupted that. I'd lie. It is indeed the truck, the toss there. Unfortunately, Fog's being a bit of a dope and getting in the way and messing that up. But I did forget, actually. I'm pretty sure you can toss through the magic immunity, and it will disrupt the channel. I think, if memory serves me correctly. I haven't seen it done in ages, but I'm pretty sure it works like that. Darkseid, though, with a pipe, and I think Dignitas are potentially still in this. Now, as we see, Snaking has gone for pretty much an all-or-nothing run here. He's picked up the Black King bar. This leaves him very low mana, but it allows him not to get picked off in the middle of a fight. And that's the main thing. Really does not want to get hexed into oblivion here. But here it comes. A push here on mid. Now, the question is, can Tiny make something happen down here, or is he going to teleport back? Now, he does have a scroll. It looks like he's going to gun for this here. He's going to gun for this tower. Might be able to get this, I'm not dead sure. Meanwhile, in the mid lane here, can they hold this off? The Radiant team trying to stall as hard as they can. It looks like the Dire deciding to back up. Tiny also losing sight of them and decides to back up again. Both teams playing very conservatively. Because, I mean, if they wanted to, what they could have done here is, the Radiant, they could have sent Wisp, but they could have said, okay, Wisp teleports in, and if the Dire team committed to a fight here, they could have sent Wisp up to the top, tethered up with Tiny, and just drilled through these. I kid you not. Like, that's, you see that the damage Tiny's doing without the tether. Imagine if you had the tether and the overcharge on. It'd be utterly ridiculous. At the same time, though, Tiny does not want to risk getting killed. Now, we see he's actually bought up a Manta Style. I think this is partially to get rid of the effects from Shadow Demon. Source effect. Also, it gives nice movement speed, nice attack speed. Doesn't really do much in the damage department. I mean, if you throw, I mean, you might see him go for the big crits next. In fact, I mean, they might have to just make a run for it and just go, okay, just take Tiny, get rid of his stuff, just make sure he doesn't have scrolls, and just rely on Wisp to teleport him around the field, taxi him around the field. They might end up having to go for that and just get that big crit there. It might be an all or nothing for them, but we'll see. So they're going to make a run on this tower as well. It's definitely possible. Of course, this tower has been quite weak for quite some time. And it looks like Shadow Fiend, though, working towards that Daedalus, has picked up the Crystallis. Yes, Snaking is on Storm. You see Tiny not even interested in charging in there on Ammon. Gets the stun off, but they're playing conservatively. Now we can teleport back here as we see the blink in. She Storm Spirit, though, BK being up. They're going to try and pick up KSI. They should be able to bring him down. There's a pick off there. Dignitas, though, they get the Black Hole down on top of them. Virtus.Pro counter Black Hole, and that's a better one. They get two vacuums them in. Great combo there. Can they bring them down? A couple more auto attacks. Tiny now going to keep charging. The buyback there from Storm. Tiny now giving chase. They bring him down. They get rid of the line. Going to try and take out Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain blinking out, though. It looks like they pick off the Enigma eventually, and it looks like Ammon will manage to escape, although Queen of Pain having to pop a haste. And Dignitas with the counterattack, and that's what I mean about those black holes. I was wondering where that blink came from. It was Rubik blinking in a position, using that mobility to get that black hole at the right moment, and then counterattack with it. And I've got to say, a bit of a misplay there from the Santa. Black, I mean, it wasn't exactly a PGG level black hole. They were going for the Storm Spirit kill, which is definitely a valuable kill, but at the same time, opened himself up to getting them a much bigger black hole in return. Definitely a big play there from Fog. They're gunning here. They're going to go for this. Can they get this in time? 20 seconds, but he doesn't even have a black hole. We do have Finger of Death there from Lion. He could try and gun for this, but now we see Tiny tearing through these towers. Can he get a Rax? Lion's back up now. Piper's been popped by the Radiant side. They're going for it. Half health now. They're going to get a Rax here. Obviously not game over just yet, and I really expect Big B to play through. But a stun in there. A blink, a stun now. Snaking, vulnerable. Finger of Death coming out. Stuns there. Doesn't need the Finger of Death. Will get finished off by a couple of nukes, but definitely a worthy trade. Mid-Rax and a tower for Snaking. It looks like Snaking's got one roll here, and it's bait. Big bait. The other Radiant side not even falling back here. They did keep the pressure. Now they also managed to clean up this tower here as well. We'll see the turnaround in a second. Although that said, at the same time, bottom lane under a bit of pressure, and KO, well, Crew's there a little bit. He's not really sure whether or not he wants to come in here and try and finish off this tower. Let me bring up the gold chart now. You see a big swing. Look at that turnaround. That is a hell of a turnaround there. 1k advantage now to Dignitas. They are back on top, but barely. And of course, any slip-ups here could be devastating. And the experience chart also much closer now as well. See Crystallis there on Shadow Fiend. I think VP will need to be very good. They'll need to be conservative here. They're going to want to have to save for buybacks with the mobility that they have here. Although there we go, Hex down. Get a stun in their line. Be too aggressive. I said conservative. That's not conservative. Down goes Shadow Demon. Queen of Pain though jumping. Gets rid of the darks here. But Tiny's BK beat up. He's charging in. We don't have Black Hole up. I believe Santa's going to regret this. Or he might actually get clear here, but now it's Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend, can they get him before the Requiem goes? Requiem goes off, but Tiny does not care. He was BK beat up. And a pause there from Snaking. What is Tiny getting? He's getting a Daedalus. He's getting a Daedalus. In fact, he bought up the recipe. Does he have it en route? The courier's coming. I think it's coming. Snaking, having computer issue, tactical pause. Where is that courier? There it is, right in front of me, in fact. He's got it. There it is. Daedalus on the Tiny. There we go. He will be picking up that big, nasty crits there. Of course, flat damage as well. Gets a good hit in there on Shadow Fiend. We'll just see him melt. Tons of time. It looks like he might be picking up his own BKB. Definitely a worthy investment there. And like I've said this time and time again, one of the easiest ways to deal with a Wisp Tiny combo is just to pick off the Wisp. Of course, very vulnerable, sitting at the back there. If you can get the target fire on him, and of course they do have that target fire they can apply with the line. However, I'm just waiting for Wisp to show up, although he doesn't have his ult up actually, so no, he's probably not going to show up. Meanwhile though, they can see Rubik back. Rubik get a gun for Queen of Pain here. There's Telekinesis. She's got a Hexo. Throws the Hex down on Storm Spirit, and we'll just blink away. She should be able to escape. Storm Spirit completely out of mana, of course. Snaking, unfortunately, not exactly big in the regeneration department, but he's finally getting some cash, so probably see. Depends what he'll go for here. He might in fact go for. He might go for. I don't think he'd go for a Bloodstone. He's not getting the kills right now. It would be nice, but at the same time, I think he needs to Hex more at this stage. They really need to shut down this Queen of Pain, or get those timely Hexes down on the Enigma. Enigma definitely a pretty big deal in these fights. Now, Enigma appears to be building probably a Shivas with that plate mail, I think. They were getting the Salt. I think they'd save that for Shadow Fiend to pick up instead. Darkseid though, it looks like he's going for Argon Scepter. Oh, that is going to sting. That is going to sting. They get a Shadow Fiend inside that wall. He's going to wreck his own teammates quite easily. He's already swinging for a good 200 a hit. Queen of Pain even is starting to get fairly painful in terms of, I mean, if she goes, I mean, something we've seen in the past has been Queen of Pain, if she gets enough farm, she can go toe-to-toe with these late gamers. If she picks up a Monkey King Barnex, she'll definitely be able to go toe-to-toe with the time. She's got a BKB, she's got a Hex. She picks up a Monkey King Bar. Auto attack will still be relevant. It's less about her auto attack and more about the fact she's mobile. But now they're going to dive in. They're going to try and pick off the Shadow Fiend. Can they get a stun? No, BKB's up. No, disruption save actually. BKB up there for Queen of Pain as well as Tiny. And looks like both teams are going to disengage here. We do see the Roshan is up though. Will Virtus.Pro make a run for the third one? Of course, Cheese is up now as well. And we got Vacuum in their line about to get picked off. They get down the wall of Red Blue. And there we go. There we go. The steal. He's got the counter black hole, but they get the Hex down on Rubik. Can Rubik get off the black hole here? He's getting nuked down there. Doesn't manage to find it though. Though they do pick off Queen of Pain and Shadow Fiend regardless. And we see that Rubik, he's sitting on the black hole. I think he's decided to back off and just save it for now. We get the stun down there on Sander once again. Sander now running for his life. I doubt he's going to get away though. We get the tether stun. That's going to seal the deal. That is definitely a bad sign for Virtus.Pro, the fact they lost that fight, and they did not even need the counter black hole. And now we see the disruption there. Can we pick up line once get the Hex goes down on Tiny stun? There's that black hole catching 3 Fogged. It's been amazing in terms of black hole, and the cleave shreds them. Now Queen of Pain, Electric Vortex, Telekinesis, and a cleave on her too. She goes down enough for the count. GG is called, and Dignitas, I think definitely GG there. They could have just thrown it all the way. Oh, what a turnaround there. Dignitas looking like they're on tilt all game, and then A2000 and Fogged, man of the hour with these black holes. Saving the day, no doubt at all. Okay, it just came down in the end. Virtus.Pro was such a great early start. They completely shredded Dignitas in the early game, counter-picked them, dealt with them in the lanes, locked down the map, and then just those team fight plays there from Fogged as well as the rest of Dignitas were just so much stronger than what Virtus.Pro were getting here. Virtus.Pro just getting too aggressive, a little bit too hungry, and in the end, overstepping, overplaying, and unfortunately getting brought down there by Dignitas. But anyway, guys, that was just game 1 in a best-of-3 series. We'll be back in about 5 minutes after a commercial break with game number 2, so stick around. Dignitas versus Virtus.Pro.